Hello guys and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Ademola Badmos, and if this is your first time, please do not forget to like and subscribe. And in this video, we will be talking about basic things to understand in Java. In this video, we will be setting up a simple Java project, not a simple Maven project. It's a simple Java project to just understand the construct of the Java language itself. So with that being said, let's get right to it. It is important to remember that we are using IntelliJ because of its smart, it's because of its robust nature, where it can automatically help you import things that you need. So as a newbie, it makes things easy for you. But the thing is, if you find yourself using other IDE other than IntelliJ, you will need to understand how your code is imported. So with that being said, let's get right to it. So I'm going to launch my IntelliJ. So this might take a while. Okay. So I'm going to create a new project, and this will be a test project. Let's just call it simple test projects, right? As you can see, it's a new project entirely, and the language is Java, and this is it. And you can see that it picked my JDK, my version 15 that has been there. So it picked it, and I can go ahead and create. All right. So let's wait for it to create and load the page. Now that the page is loaded, let's begin. So we have a sources root already. That's what comes with a simple project. And in the sources root, you're expected to start creating your Java construct. And the first thing you create in Java is a package. So you can create a package, and a package is basically a collection of classes, interface, enums, and annotations that are actually related to a particular task or feature, so to speak. So the peculiarity about creating a package is it is best to create the package using small letters. So if I want to create this, and I'm going to call it an example, and because let's just call it example one. So as you can see, I have two words, but I joined them with a full stop. So that is the way um, a package is created, and voila, you have a package. And the next thing you want to do is create a class inside the package. So we create a Java class inside the package, and as you can see, it's a collection of class interfaces, enum, and annotations. So let's call this class an example as well, right? And you will see that the class that will be created now would inherit that package because it is created inside it. Give me time. Oh yes, it's loading up. Forgive my system. I have so many things open from work, and I did not have time to close it before I started the whole video. Now it is important to tell you that for a class, if you want to run a single class file, you would need a main method inside the class. A class is a collection of methods that performs different functions. Collection of methods that perform different functions. Imagine if you have a class for your login, you could create a separate method to get the username, to type in the username. You could create a separate method to type in the password, and you could create a separate method to click the login button. And you can create also a separate method to verify that the login was successful. All right, or you could just create one method to do that. And for that method to work, if it's not the main method, you will need a main method for it to work in that single class. So I'm going to show us how to work with a single class, because you will be learning, our learning process will start from working with a single class, then it will move on to using test annotations as well. So the first thing we will do here is I will show you the construct of a class. Now let me do something. Let me just create any class without the main class. Let's call this test. Yep, it might not be named correctly yet, but let's just, for the sake of class, let's just do this. System.out.print line. All right, and we do this. Let's say learning is fun. All right, not forget the colon. Now if we try to run this, nothing will happen. There is nothing showing us how to run it here because it's just a public method. All right, now the construct of the main method looks like this: public static void main, because it is the main method. Then you put the string array argument inside it, and yes, and you have yourself a Java main method. All right, as you can see, it is highlighted. So let me copy this and paste it here. But yeah, let's leave it this way. So if I click now, what we are going to have is what? We are going to have a way to run it. So if I click on run this example right now, it will be able to show us something in the console soon. So at this point, it is important to tell you also that Java is a compiling language. It will compile everything that you've written. As you can see, it's building it up. So it compiles it, then it would return a result. As you can see, it is executing the precompile task. Let me click that again. So once everything has been built, then it returns a result on your console for you. So right now we would see that it would return learning is fun. So it's checking the sources, then it's going to show us the class that we are running. I mean, from wherever we are running from. So while we are waiting for that to happen, as you can see, it is passing the Java project, the simple tests, and it has finished compiling, and learning is fun is returned to us. So let me modify this and call it learning is so much fun. If I want to run this particular method inside the main method, I will need to instantiate it. Instantiate it basically means making sure that I can create a way to access every other method created in this class. So in order to do that, all I need to do is create an instance of it. So I'll instantiate it. Let's say example, and name it example equals new example. All right, do not forget semicolon. So that way, this example variable created here has inherited all the methods in this particular class object. So right now, it's easy for me to come here and say example dot, you see that I have access to it. I have access to the test method. So if I do this right now, the test method is there. So if I run this, I will get, it will build it up again, it will compile everything. Then what will return will be learning is fun. Then it will also return learning is so much fun. So let's run it. It's building up again. Let's wait for that. And just like I expected, it returned learning is fun and learning is so much fun. So I would like to discuss another concept before I wrap this up. I would like to discuss the concept of scopes, and I will do that practically. So let me create a new package. Let me create a new package, and let me call this example 2. Example 2, right? And in example 2, I will have a class, right? And let me call this one example 2, right? So in example 2, all I want to do in example 2 is I want to have access to this particular method, to this particular class, pardon me. That's all I want to do. I don't want to write anything by myself. So all I need to do is, okay, so let me duplicate things here. Um, so let me name this test 2, right? But let me make this private. And let's call this learning is actually fun. Yeah, let's do this. And let me still come here and do this example. And you'll see that we have access to test 2. But notice that the scope on test 2 is private, not public. All right. If I run this right now, I will have learning is fun, learning is so much fun, learning is actually fun. When I run this, if our compiler would not object to the fact that we have an empty class somewhere, that nothing is happening in it. So let's wait for it. Let's wait for it. Yep. Yeah. So it has run that. And notice that the private also ran. So let's come here and create a main method, or let's first instantiate the class that we need. So we say example is the example one that we need. Example is let's call it example is what? A new example class, right? Now let's create our main method. Remember that nothing can work without the main method. So inside the main method, we create the string and arguments, and we have this. And in the example now, if we call the example instance, you see that we only have access to tests. We do not have access to the other part of it. Let's remove this here. Let's copy this out. Let's cut this out and put it in the main method. So you see that we only have access to tests. The reason is because tests has a public scope while test 2 has a private scope. It means when it is public, it can be accessible anywhere else it is referenced. But when it is private, it is only accessible inside. It is only accessible inside the class where it is created. So those are some of the things that you should put into consideration when you want to start learning Java and Selenium. And also remember that you have to create a package first. And when you create a package the way I created it, it would create sub packages into it. But if you create it with just a single name, like this, right? It creates a single package, and in the package you can equally create your class inside it, right? You can create a test class. Classes start with a capital, so you can create a test class, and that would work if you want to write anything into it. So before I end this video, the only thing I would just want to add to this is how can you convert your simple Java project